So you guys are definitely in for a treat. Help me show some love to Dr. Brett Brimhall in the chat.
Hey, thanks so much. Actually, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And actually, after listening to Dr. Dixon talk, like I've got to do something because I feel a little guilty. This morning, like I was super nervous about getting ready for this because I want to do a really good job. But there's people out there that need what we have and they don't even know it exists, right? And so I did a little recon mission today. Like I literally went to the store, and now after hearing Brian talk, I've got to change something. So I just heard him say that I need to help my gut, to help my brain. So because of that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my daily wellness here, and I'm going to mix some up in my AXIO. So I'm actually going to take my daily wellness. I'm going to put a scoop of that in my AXIO, and I'm actually going to do the purple grape because those actually go really, really good together. And I'm going to put that right inside my AXIO. I'm going to mix it up so that my gut and my brain are working together so that I don't miss a beat. Now, this is my office right here, and I see patients 2 days a week now because I want to, and I don't have to practice anymore. I really want to. I enjoy it. So 2 days a week I do that. And behind me, you're going to see what most people have as options to help their brain or to be able to function optimally in life. And so if you'll look back there, like I literally went to the store today, I spent like $20 on this stuff, blows my mind, right? So back here, you're gonna see some really interesting things on my counter. I have these there all the time. You're gonna see things like Red Bull, you're gonna see things like NOS, like Rain, like Bang, don't you love those names? These are what the world, and actually you'll see also soda, right? So this is what the world has as options. And by the way, I apologize for those people that love coffee, but yes, I did even buy a Starbucks cup, right? Because what are people currently use to give themselves energy? And why are people using that? So the reason why a lot of people are using this is because they don't know about the stuff you guys are hiding, which is right there, right? So how many of you are literally hiding what you have available because you're not sure how to talk about it? So what I will do today is give you some ways to talk and share, because right now the world needs what we have and they don't even know it exists. All right. And so it's super, super important. So I'm gonna start drinking my brain gut drink here that I just mixed up. And literally this is what I do every day in my practice, or when I'm working, I mix the daily wellness up with an AXIO. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see a couple slides that I made. And now I put a lot of effort in these slides, so I want you guys to really, really appreciate this hard work. I made these all myself, but I plagiarized them, right? And what we call that is research. When you take stuff from everybody, you call it research. So what I want you to look at here, these slides are actually all on your website, almost all of them, right? And I'm going to show you where to find them, because if you're looking for information, the reality is people don't make decisions based on science a whole lot. They will, but they're going to make the decision based on what they think it's going to do for them and the emotional impact that it will have in their life. People don't drink soda or drink energy drinks because it's good for them, right? And you can pull up some super cool studies about energy drink and the concerns that medicine has about them, right? So people aren't drinking these things because they think they're good for them, right? So we have an option to help them understand how these would not only be good for them, but literally give them what they're looking for, right? This concept of biohacking is just getting bigger and bigger. People are more aware of what health is. They're more willing to do a little homework to find out, and they're more willing to monitor their health than ever before, right? So this movement of biohacking has only been catapulted over the last year, right? Every time in my practice I see somebody, they usually come in, and this has been on since I began practice. I began in my dad's practice when I was 14 years old. So that's how long I've been in the space of listening to people's stories and what's going on in the world. And they're looking for solutions. They're looking for hope, and they're looking for answers. And my whole life, I grew up hearing my dad tell these stories about people and about the struggles they were having. And they'd gone to so many different places looking for answers. There are people right now looking for answers when it comes to being able to like function better, like, yeah, to be able to focus, to be able to like, have it make a decision without being so fatigued, right? With not feeling so much overwhelmed when they're in a conversation. Like, people are looking for solutions. In the last year, there's been this giant shift in people's thinking, I need to take care of my own health and I don't want to wait till I have a problem. The world has never done that before. With a shift there. At the same time, people have never thought before is like, I can't trust information. So I've got to find a way to do my homework and look for information, find the right sources for that. And never before have people looked at like, how do I provide for my family differently? So we are in a perfect spot to help the world in a giant, giant way, but they will not know unless we start having these conversations. So biohacking is a concept that's just going to get bigger and bigger, but it's really, how do I optimize myself? Now, I have 4 kids. Like, we are always thinking, okay, how do we put our kids or ourselves in the best position to learn, to be successful, right? To have the best friends, to go to the right schools, right? We're putting them in a position where they can absolutely be their best. So we have that same opportunity when it comes to the products we use. All right. So nutrigenomics is this thing we talk about, right? But it's literally nutrition and genes and how they go together. If you think you have perfect genes, fantastic. Are they doing their best? My own mom, who was the youngest of 10 kids, her mom and dad lived to 97 and 93, right? Phenomenal genetics, right? Because of environmental exposures that she had when she was young, she passed away from cancer in her 60s, right? So nutrition is critical. Environment is critical for the gene's potential. Just like our own brain and our own life, it's phenomenal, but the environment you put it into is going to determine the outcome, right? So my mom, the youngest of 10, none of those kids have lived into their late 80s. 85 or younger when they passed, right? Because of the way the environment has changed. Medicine's got some really cool things that have happened, but environment's changed. So I want people to have this information so they can start applying this information today, right? Because what we do today to our bodies physically, what we do in our bank accounts today had the drastic impact on how our health looks in 5 years, in 10 years, and in 20 years. And that's a cumulative effect, both in a positive and a negative way. All right. So, and this is much bigger than any one of us, much bigger than any one of us, right? I'm talking about the things that I teach my kids, the things they see me do, not what I teach them, but the things they see me do had more impact on them than what I say, right? So them seeing me mix up my AXIO with my daily wellness is probably have a bigger impact than me saying, hey, drink your AXIO, right? Or me sharing stories of individuals and what I've seen. So we owe it to the world and to our kids for them to see us do those things. And I love being a part of LifeVantage in that way, because they're at the forefront of making that happen, right? And to being the ability to actually share it with the world. So like, who needs this, right? Well, athletes, mathletes, weekend warriors, really all of us. It's just, what part of your life do you not want to be better, right? And what are you currently doing, and what is the world currently doing to allow their brain to be at their best? There's a couple of books I have back here on purpose behind my energy drinks that sit there all day, right? That people like literally like, why do you have energy drinks in your office? One of them is called The End of Alzheimer's. It literally talks about nutritional deficiencies and toxicities and how that has a detrimental effect upon brain function. And if we don't address that 20 years before the symptoms shows up, we're at a loss. So we need to start doing things now to make sure our brains can function optimally today, but also so that long-term that functions optimally. So read that book by Dr. Bredesen. There's another one, it's about brain performance called Limitless. Again, talking about brain learning. That book is about a guy that said when he grew up, he was known as a kid with a broken brain because of head injury. But guess what? His brain became unbroken because of things that he applied that where now his brain learns in so many different ways. And he truly believes every single one of our brains could function optimally and better. And part of what he discusses in there is the right nutrition for your brain. All right. Okay, so here's the problem. People are utilizing energy drinks more and more every single year. That market's only getting bigger. It's actually starting to overtake the soda industry, right? So go ahead and drive down the street. And I want you to see where people are going for their energy right now. And I drove past one today and I laugh every time when I'm like, man, it is 100 degrees already this morning and people are in line to get coffee, like a hot drink. I don't get it, right? So people are looking for solutions to wake themselves up, to be more alert, to kind of get in the zone, right? And so that market's only getting bigger for us if we learn how to play in that space. All right. And do it because it's like you want to have a bigger business, and also do it because it's right. Like literally, like if we don't figure this out, like think about your grandma or your grandpa or that individual that's struggling academically, right? Like I was literally in a small town in Arizona a few weeks ago, and we were having this conversation with this individual, and he was drinking 5 20-ounce energy drinks a day because he would rather have done that than be on medications to focus. He just didn't feel good on the meds. But without the energy drinks, like he was struggling to do and perform his tasks as a dad, as a first responder. Like he was struggling, right? So add that up, what the cost of that are financially to family. 5 20-ounce energy drinks a day, right? Just the monetary cost, but then add up the effects that has. Well, guys, in a few weeks, in less than a couple weeks time, like he is now down. Well, he's not actually down off altogether, but he's down. He was down within a couple weeks to 1 20-ounce energy drink a day. Because what did he use? He used those things, and he didn't know about it, and he didn't hear about it from me. He heard about it from his captain, who heard about it from his daughter, who heard about it from Dr. Hatch. And how did I get involved? Because Carrie Williams showed it to me, and watching what happened in their lives, right? So there are people that need this, and we need to be good at sharing it. All right, so I love this. Say hello to that 90% of your brain, right? How you're feeling today, how you're performing today as a result of what you've been doing and what you're currently doing. So I love the fact this is all on your website, guys. This is, you'll see that I have it here. You'll see it's literally off my website. I did a screenshot so you can see it. On all of your personalized website, this is right there. This is what I share with people. What are the benefits of AXIO, right? Well, they're right there. Like improved mental alertness, mental acuity, enhanced neurotransmitter function and brain resilience, reduces mental fatigue. All right, who do you know that deals with mental fatigue, and what does that look like? What does that look like in you? Like, when does that happen for you? Is it after lunch? Is it when you're getting ready to perform for a big task? Is it when it happened in your sports? Like, when are you feeling that mental fatigue? All right, reduces brain fog, increases physical and mental energy while improving positive mood. Like, who do you know that could use a little positive mood, right? Who do you know that needs that? And you can literally do that by drinking a drink. All right, and clean low calorie, formula which is BSCG approved, which is awesome because then athletes can take it. All right, smart energy. We have multiple flavors now. Like, how nice is that to literally have different options? Because people are doing stuff because on taste, like just like these energy drinks I showed you back here. It's not because people like, why there's all these different flavors, because people like different things. Well, now we have this whole bunch of different flavors we can utilize with people. All right, and you can mix and match it. Like literally, I just did daily wellness with the purple grape, right? All right. So what's in it? You have, and this is all on your site. You don't have to. So people want to know if it's real. All right. By the end of this, I hope you know it's really, really real. All right. So what are in it? Your B vitamins, your magnesium, your caffeine, DMAE. Well, what are other questions might have? Well, can I take it with the other things? Great. So go to your website, give this to people so that they have that, and they can have the question answered. You don't have to be the one like giving them the answer. They can go right here. All right. Here is what is at AXIO. All right. If you look at the ingredients, and maybe some of you don't know exactly what those are, right? And maybe you really want to know more about them and what they each individually do. And we're going to come back to that, right? Because yes, the individual components are important, but the synergistic blend of them are far more important. All right, and we'll come back to that. So right on your website, it lists short answers. B vitamins help support brain function. All right, required for energy metabolism, help maintain normal cellular functions, help promote positive mood, help supports optimal working memory, helps reduce fatigue, helps promote healthy energy. Like, who do you know that needs and wants that? All right. So each one of those. Now, if you want more, if you need and want more credibility for you, all right, I love being a part of LifeVantage because they're doing the heavy lifting for us. Like, I don't want to do what Dr. Dixon does. Like, the guy is crazy smart, right? His team of people that he works with are crazy smart. They painstakingly go through, find the best ingredients for us to go across international markets. I don't want to do that, right? I just want to know I can trust it, right? So they do that work and they test it both independently and in a house to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do. And they're always looking, how do we improve it, right? So if you need more information, great, guys, go to PubMed. Like, if you go into PubMed and you type in B vitamins, there's 150,000 studies about B vitamins. Look at the first one that shows up, B vitamins and brain mechanisms, right? B vitamins and aging. Right? If you need that homework and you type the individual nutrients in, right? And you're going to see that that's the same thing. Magnesium, 111,000 study on magnesium, right? Pine bark extract, right? 540 studies. There's a whole bunch. You can go through quercetin and everything else. There's a whole bunch of other studies. Like, go through each individual nutrient and read it if you want, right? Like, read them, some of the studies, some of the abstracts to really get your in your mind the validation of what you need. And I love that that's there, right? But I also love to work with these individuals. Now, this is a picture when we were on the science advisory board call, and I just happened to take it. I took a screenshot because these people inspire me, right? They inspire me because, like, every field, they're in different fields, from vets to, PhD researching, to pediatrics, to radiology, like, pharmacology. Like, these individuals are crazy smart. Like, when I think about being able to be a part of this group, right? I truly feel humbled to be a part of this group because these individuals, they know their stuff and they're giving up their time to try to do, how do we do a better job at explaining this and make sure we're bringing products to market that people need and want. And they are all crazy passionate about these products because of what they've seen happen in those that they take care of, those that they're responsible for, right? And so my journey began with AXIO because of what I saw in an individual that I'd worked with for a year. I had done everything that I'd known. I was the one out there teaching and training physicians on what to do, right? And I literally was running out of options, right? And then AXIO comes out. AXIO, after 11 days of being this individual, vastly changes his life, right? And I've watched how his life has changed from doing so many different therapies, having to go to so many different therapists to try to learn, to try to retain, to try to change how he actually interacted with the world, to now where he literally feels like the world is his oyster, right? His brain structure did not change, the functionality did, all right? So the reason why that happens is when the brain has what it needs in the right ways, in the right ratios, and it can be absorbed, things can change. This is the handwriting of the individual that once they were activated, their brain perception of what a letter looked like and how it was able to come out of the head onto the paper, that's what changed in 2 weeks. This is my nephew, right? And this is an individual I worked with since he was born, right? So, like, how many people are out there literally struggling, looking for answers, right? Trying to find a way to be able to function at a higher level, and they just don't know that there's an option. So maybe they've gone to a bunch of different physicians and they've tried to figure out what to do. Well, guys, there are real people right now really looking. Now, I just went through this morning that I was kind of thinking through a people's life that I have been a part of sharing this with, or sharing this with through. And these are just some of their names. As I look at their names, I literally get choked up a little bit, thinking about their stories and where they were and where they are because of the difference of activation, right? The way in which they've been able to perform, the way they've been able to be different as a parent, as a business owner, as a business leader, right, is different because they're activated. So if you really want some motivation to know how to share this, think about not having it. Like, think about not having these tools in your own personal life. Like, what would that look like? What options would you have? So to me, like, we have a responsibility and a privilege to share this. Now, that second line, excuse me, are individuals that never got a chance to use these products, right? These are family members of mine that passed away before they had the option, right? So I'm grateful now to be able to share this, because I'm hoping there's other people that will have this option before they don't. So here's some questions that people ask me all the time that I'm going to try to highlight through a little bit. All right. So why do people drink what they do? Well, a lot of times they're looking for something. So what are they looking for? And don't think of so much of what are they looking for, like, you know, in your head, like, what are they looking at? What is the emotional tie they want? Well, maybe it's a mom, right? At the end of the day, they're super tired. They're struggling to, like, be able to work on the kids' homework, right? So they're looking for something. What do they reach for? Well, maybe it's a Diet Coke, right? They're trying to find something, right? Maybe it's that person, like, they've got a big presentation to do, and they're just like, okay, what do I do? I'm gonna drink 4 cups of coffee, right? They're doing it because they're looking for a result, right? Because that result is tied to them being able to be successful in something, whether it's successful with a mom, successful with a spouse, successful in business, right? So show them how this could be a possible. But, you know, what are their other options? Like, literally, and watch what people are doing. And most of them, like, when they drink that Diet Coke or whatever else, it's not because that's good for them. Like, it's like we want what it makes them feel like, right? Well, what are the risks associated with doing energy drinks or doing lots of sugar long term? Well, go look at PubMed, right? But the effects of this are cumulative. The effects of everything we do are cumulative. So there's a couple of studies on PubMed where they're literally looking at energy drinks and the effects that it's having on people's heart, their brains, right? And even fertility, right? So we have a better option, right? So, and when it comes to cost, like, how much is an energy drink? How much is a cup of coffee at Starbucks, right? Like, guys, we get 50 of these, right? Excuse me, 30 of these for $50, right? And then you can mix and match them, right? You can put them different flavor, different ways, right? Cost-wise, it's super inexpensive, right? And it's life-changing. So I want you to think about, when you look at somebody that's exercised consistently for months and then years, like, when you look at them, you see a difference in them. You see a difference in their tone, right? Well, your brain is no different. Your brain also has a tone. And so the more we utilize the right things, the more your brain can learn. So once your brain can learn faster, right? So the healthier your brain gets, the healthier your gut gets, the healthier your nerve flow and your oxidative stress gets, the healthier your mitochondrial function gets. The more systems are working together the more cumulative effect you have, right? And the more you can get done in a day. So again, who might benefit? Think of moms, think of athletes, think of dad, think of business owners, think of students, think of grandmas, grandpas, teachers, military, first responders, families, friends, right? And maybe even those people you don't like because they're grouchy, maybe they need it. Yeah, I mean, the website, it says positive mood. Maybe they need it. Maybe they're struggling because they've been drinking these things. They don't know there's another option, right? And people, they're looking for those options, right? And I think who might we save a lot of struggles for it? I can't tell you the amount of stories I've heard of individuals that have had family members that have struggled in school, or have struggled being able to feel like they could be productive at work, and that literally activating their brain has literally saved their relationship or has saved their confidence, right? Well, that's what we have our hands on, right? And LifeVantage has done the hard work. So when I think of the synergistic effect of AXIO, I think of it individually when it comes to AXIO itself, like the different individual ingredients, put it together in the right ratios. Like, I may not even understand what each individual ones are doing. You don't have to. And you don't even have to understand, like, all the science. You just have to understand that if it doesn't get in you, it doesn't do any good. Just like your phone. Most of us have no idea how these things work. We just know what we need to do with it. Like, we know we got to charge it. We know we have to, do certain things. We have to choose the right app. Well, when it comes to AXIO, it's the same way. Like, You don't need to understand all the components. If you're one of the people that need to, great, do your homework. And the more you study, the more excited you get. The more you put in people's life, the more excited you're going to get, right? But you don't have to enjoy it. Like, and I think of synergism as a lot like as I watch my daughter dance. Like, if you watch my daughter dance, like, she's phenomenally talented individually to watch, but when you watch her in a group, like, it's vastly different. Just like a symphony, like you might like an instrument, when you have a symphony together, it's vastly different. So with LifeVantage, when you think about what we have, right? We're no longer looking at how do we make a better product? Like, how do we activate the body's natural ability to repair? How do I activate somebody's brain and be able to learn, retain, remember, recall, right? That's what we have our hands on. Now you just got to find ways to get it into people, and you might have to be creative. So even this morning, guys, I had a protein drink this morning. I put the protein powder in, I put an AXIO in, and some ice and a banana, like, and I mixed it up, right? So that's what I give my kids. So if I can put AXIO that way, well, you can also do it in, as before sports, right? Some people drink it warm, people drink it hot, some people make slushies out of it. I've had people mix it in Jello. I've had people making little gummy bears out of it. I've had people that they'll like the taste, but they want the effect, so they put it in capsules, right? You don't have to love it. Like, I do this not because of the taste, like, it tastes wonderful. Like, I do it because of what I literally see it do in people's lives, right? So at the end of the day, what I hope you get from this is that AXIO had a giant effect upon your brain. So do it now, do it today, do it often, right? Because it's going to affect your brain. You're going to be able to focus, you'll be able to concentrate. So if you're, as me as a dad, like, when I'm not doing well mentally, I'm not a good dad. I'm more grouchy. I get upset easier, right? I don't practice the same. So, like, I do it because of how I want to feel, but I also do it because I watch a grandparent struggle all the time. And this is their option, because we're not being loud enough with that. So it's time to quit hiding. People need this. They want it. We just need to be louder about sharing it. So, you guys, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share this. Please pass this around information. Please get this in your family's lives. And I'd love in the chat if you guys could throw out, like, literally, like, how do you use it? Like, how do you get it in people's life? What are your tools for those people that don't like the taste, right? What do you put it in, right, to like the taste, right? And we have a ton of flavors now, tons of different ways. So thank you so much.